Well, it's Monday. Hope you guys are doing good. Back at it. Did you guys have off today? Some people had off because of President's Day. I can't remember who I was on the phone with earlier, but I definitely said to somebody, did you guys go spend some money for your favorite president today? In honor of the all of the presidents. Who's your favorite? I could guess maybe one person, but maybe not. Maybe none. Another day in America. Another day for you guys to tap in with us. If you guys don't know, my name is RJ. I live out here in Medellin, Colombia. Today is Monday. Every day, outside of me either being like having to be out of the office, whatever the case is, or traveling, I am on here, wherever it is you are looking, Monday through Friday, right around a 6:30 hour. Sometimes we get on about 7, depending on what was going on in the day. But today we are going to talk about the 5 reasons I moved abroad. Now, they're my reasons. However, many people in the States are going through the same things. Many people are coming from different socioeconomic backgrounds, just different lifestyles, but are all faced with some of the same things. And you will probably find some commonality in the things we're going to cover today. The funny part is, I didn't write this and write these down for you guys. I wrote these down, a couple of years ago when I actually went to go move. And I said to myself, okay, why am I actually leaving? I knew I had the feeling, but so many of you guys are overwhelmed with the United States work, how you have to continuously be on the go. You probably have not been in a scenario recently where you actually stopped and thought about it. And you guys right now are probably in a crossroads if you're searching for this content, if you're looking for this type of content about who moved abroad, why did they move abroad, what are some things that go on abroad, then you are already on the journey of possibly leaving. But I always tell you guys to make certain that you know for a fact why it is that you are leaving. Just having it in your head is not good enough for what this journey entails. So you guys need to understand that I'm going to give you why I left. Maybe these are some of the reasons you left. These are not the only reasons I left, but these are probably reasons that we could probably find some common ground on. However, my list included these 5 things and a whole bunch of other things because I had not realized that I was no longer happy with what had gotten normal. And some of these things is going to wake you up tonight and you're going to say, oh man, I forgot that there was a time where these things weren't normal. But because you have to continuously run and go back to work every day, they give you the weekends off if you can afford to take the weekends off. But how many hours is that? You really get you you work 40 hours a week to get what, 16 hours off, 20 hours off. I mean, you guys don't have to be to work at 9, but from 9 to 5, if you were considering that 8-hour shift, Saturday and Sunday, okay, you get before 9 and after 5. That's 16 unadulterated hours where it's like, okay, now you actually have some ability to move around. So I get it. You might not have thought, what are the reasons why I might be thinking of moving abroad? But I'm going to share with you why I left. And this may hit home just a little bit. Now, one of the first things that I thought about when leaving was escaping the American rat race. Are you familiar with the American rat race is? The American rat race, everybody knows the American dream. Everybody has been conditioned to think that we are going to obtain the American dream. That is why everybody's so gung ho on capitalism, because capitalism says if I work hard enough, I can get as much of the stuff and things that I want. However, so many of you guys are working hard. So many of you guys have afforded the stuff and things. So many of you guys are now looking at scenarios where, like I said, the internet topic was, and I'm certain it'll change soon, but the internet topic is how much are eggs in your city? How much are eggs in your city? Eggs, things that come out of chickens, scrambled, omelet, eggs, just basic things. Because the price of eggs is getting extremely high, but it's not just eggs. Somebody can say, oh, well, there's a reason why the eggs specifically are so high. Well, can you explain why the grocery bag, like the bag of groceries, like one bag of groceries, the collective of it, not just eggs, are now ranging $90, $100 plus in some cities? So when I talk about escaping the American rat race, what I'm telling you guys is, how many times have you gotten a raise from your job and then realized once you took it home, I got $200 extra a month? Somebody say, "Oh, well, $400 a month. That's a good amount." Not when the price of eggs is going up, the price of a bag of groceries is going up. What else is going up? Utilities are. I've seen that those things are starting to go up in places. You guys are starting to get snowstorms in places that didn't even get snowstorms anymore. Spending money and, food on money on food and stuff that you need to buy to prepare for these disastrous times, or whether it's a natural disaster, but it's always more money. Never mind capitalism's thought process that the stuff that you buy and the things that you buy are going to make you happy. So that's why I refer to it as an American rat race, because you are literally a rat in a maze, and the maze leads nowhere. So many of you guys are disenfranchised thinking that, oh, well, I actually know a guy that's a millionaire. That's one guy that you know. Maybe you're running these extra extravagant circles. But I always tell my friends, especially the ones that, I went to college with, I grew up with, that are doing good, I always tell them, remember, you are very exceptional. I saw it the other day and I said, hold on, this is a bit alarming. The average American, you know why? It says 52% of Americans in the United States can't read past the 6th grade reading level. So clearly, the focus and agenda on stuff and things in the United States is not working. And everybody goes and say, well, moving abroad, what's that going to fix? Well, you live in a third world country. You said you live in Colombia. Over 90% of Colombians are literate. What are we actually putting our focus on in America when so many people either are illiterate or only reading up to a 6th grade level? 6th grade, what's that, 11 years old maybe? 10, 11? So since you were 10 or 11, you're now 30, 40-year-old person. As an American, the average one of you guys can't actually read past Goosebumps? So the American rat race, it was like, I am banging my head thinking that this, one, is the way to live life. Two, that the powers that be are ever going to actually let you catch up. Once you catch up, you think you've gotten it. Oh, I need to make $100,000. Go get $100,000. I guarantee by the time you get to $100,000, if you're not there, the things that you thought $100,000 was going to do for you will no longer do it for you. They're always moving the needle. It's not about a seat at a table that you're going to sit at. Most of you guys are watching now. I guarantee you the 1% is not watching this. You guys are the rest of us, including myself. I realized that I was not willing at 37 years old. Well, when I moved, I was 35. But I was not willing to spend even another 30 years if I happen to make it to 65 years old, which is not a lot of time, but still, like, I'm not guaranteed any time. But if I said, okay, if I do this for another 30 years and end up exactly with what it is that I have today, would I be okay with being at 65 saying I lived a full life? I was spending so much money and providing a place where it was just safe. I grew up in the inner city. I did not know. I no longer wanted to. I no longer wanted to live in the inner city in somebody else's city. I end up going to South Florida, moving in like Fort Lauderdale area, but it was important to me to moving abroad, the ability to like have 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 enough money to where it wasn't like, why am I spending $8,000-9,000 a month just for like car, basic food, housing, utilities? It was just a lot of money. Now I know a lot of you guys aren't at that point where you're spending that much, but just think how much money you guys have after paying all of your bills. Imagine if you had 50 to 60% more of that. That was what I was wanting to do, because I was like, hey, if I can have more money, I can even see more of these things. If I don't have to just continuously work on my daggone life, I'll have a better chance at actually living the little bit of time. We're not here to work. We're here to live. You need money to go about living, but your life shouldn't be 50, 60 hours a week at somebody else's job just to be able to say, my lights are on and I have a house and the transportation to get to and from. So this was extremely important to me, which is why we started off with the first one, because so many of you guys are in this exact same position. Now, the next thing that was of concern for me was, you guys might look at me and say, oh, skinny guy, he doesn't really know about good food. Well, anybody that actually goes on our trips knows that I always know where the great restaurants are. And I bring that up is because food quality in the United States is actually terrible. I knew that. One, obviously, before I left. Two, what they were telling people as I was preparing to leave was that they were going to be serving lab-grown meat. Lab-grown meat. What lab are they growing the meat in, and why don't they? It's animals all around. Is there some sort of issue that we should know about? What are the long-term effects of eating lab-grown meat? So many kids these days are being born with ailments that used to be a minority and are now starting to creep up in numbers. And people don't realize that becomes down to, one, the level of stress that we're dealing with as humans in America. Never mind the world. Two, what we are actually putting in our bodies. So number two reason why I left, because I'm like, what am I eating anymore? And I'm paying a premium to do so. I would travel, go on vacation, both on resorts, but resorts are relatively canned, more so in the streets with the local people. And what I was finding was, one, the food obviously was cheaper. I was getting huge steaks, huge lobsters, huge fish for fractions of the cost. That's the first thing. One, that's the first. Two, when I would eat this food, how did I feel? So many of you guys in the United States are comfortable and know what the itis is. The itis. The itis is not an ideal situation for you to be used to after eating. Seriously. But the excess of America, the supersize this, even things that aren't even food. Paper towels in Colombia aren't any bigger than my hand. Paper towels in the United States could wipe a whole floor damn near. The things that we decided were excess, and we needed to have a quadruple burger with the bacon on it, the Baconator, like the Baconator, like the Terminator, because they both gonna kill you. We already live in the United States where so many people don't even get a good amount of steps in. Say you guys are poisoning yourselves with food that they're telling you was grown in a lab. Never mind the food. Let's back up a little bit. How many of you guys live in a city where when the spring hits, it's all yellow pollen everywhere? It's on the ground, it's on the grass, it's on cars. You're coughing, you're sneezing, you're doing all of this stuff. America is so invested in making certain that the food that they give you is the ability to, here's food, and as we can make as much profit on it, good. But what also is not going to happen, we're not going to be in a scenario where we are going to let fruit grow on public streets. So the reason why you go to spring and it's all yellow and pollen everywhere is because they keep planting male plants because they don't want some poor person to be able to pick a pear, an apple off of a city street. They losing money. These are the things that have become normalized in the United States that I had to sit there and write down and say, hold on now. Now, I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids on the way. But I said, never mind kids. What am I putting in my body? What am I giving myself that this is supposed to nourish me, sustain me, provide me vitamins, and it may be taking years off of my life? What does that look like? So I had to seriously consider that and wonder, is this something that I can sustain? Ultimately, I said no. But we got plenty of things to go on because this isn't, you're like, okay, those first two, not too bad. But this one, you guys are inundated with such BS. Y'all, you guys, most of you guys are old enough to remember when Columbine happened. They said, this is the biggest tragedy we've ever seen. No kids should have to go to school and be in a scenario where they're worried about, am I going to come home? That was one of the first. We've seen other things, depending on how old you are, the Oklahoma City scenario. There's been a number of things, but it wasn't a part of everyday life. Now, it's so part of everyday life. Your children, your friends' kids, they're growing up in schools learning how to be able to survive a mass incident in their school. You grew up with fire drills. They're growing up with fire drills. And what happens if some angry person comes in here and what do we do? These things are commonplace, and it's not just schools. I bring the schools up because we're talking about children here. You as an individual, as an adult, yeah, you don't want to be a part of some mass incident, but what about kids? Like, they just got here. Yet we're teaching them how to survive America. As if this goes on. People get to these comments and, this gets put on YouTube and, clipped up into a bunch of clips and people get on there. America is the best place ever. Your kids are dying in their schools. You can go to a game, a basketball game, a football game, a church, a grocery store. You could just be out at night on Bourbon Street. You can go to a club, a movie theater. It doesn't matter where you go. I'm from the city enough to know that I know people that were in their house and got shot because something that was outside of their house. This is normal here, there in the States. Why? Why do you sit here and tell yourself that that is normal? And then you wonder why you don't want to get on the internet? You wonder why you don't want to watch the news? What positive things are you seeing? So much of the entertainment on TV is drama, chaos, or my favorite drama, the one that is almost like, are y'all telling us something? Here's the end of the world with all your favorite actors. Isn't it a funny, good movie that we keep showing you guys? Not every couple of years. I think there was like 3 end of the world movies with like a big old budget of actors that came out in like 2 years of each other. And I'm like, the Obamas produced this, eh? I have no idea what the heck is going on. I just knew that I no longer wanted to be a part of it. Very basically looking at the writing on the wall and saying, hey, if they are going to tell me that this is normal, and I knew it wasn't normal. I got out. I would go travel and I would have conversations with people and I would tell them, oh, do you know that this went on? And you're like, what do you mean? Yeah. Like you can go to the grocery store and like, that'd be the last grocery visit. What do you mean? Because they weren't hearing this stuff about the United States as wildly as we were living it. They may have heard some things, but didn't realize that this was a daily thing. Think about it, especially in a big city. Shoot, honestly, these small country cities are getting it in too. But if you're in a big city, maybe they cover two or three of the incidents, the mass ones. But I think anytime three or more people are shot, it is considered a mass incident, and it's happening every day, multiple times a day, and it no longer used to be a normal thing. I see now. I know a lot of people are getting nervous about. I think it was another plane crash today. I will tell you, that is definitely tragic, and like all of them, every last one of them have been completely tragic. I don't know what is going on from a not a plane crash scenario because there's thousands of planes that go up and down every day, and without fault. I don't know if this is a random pickup in this, deciding what they're reporting. I just know that the United States news cycle, and even like you say, hey, I'm not worried about the news, I'm worried about the internet. Somebody will walk up to you like, did you hear about that plane crash? It's just a constant. And I needed a break from the constant. I didn't need a break. I needed to unplug from that constant. I just needed to see what my life would look like, what my life would feel like if I was no longer having these things as part of my normal life. When's the last time you got a break from America and didn't have to worry about like, hey, if I go outside, the police might beat me up or throw me in jail and I've done nothing wrong? Speaking of 2025, y'all better be ready. Saw a report come out. They said that these private prisons are definitely looking from a next couple of years as far as increasing profit because of the number of prisoners that are in their beds. Take that for whatever it is that you are worth. But one thing I will tell you is when you are a prisoner in the United States, you are legally an American slave. So the money and everything else is directly in front of y'all. I don't know what more is going to take for people to sit here and start writing their list down. Why am I leaving? These are the reasons I left. These are the reasons I left 2 years ago. Think about where you are today within these three topics that we've already covered. You may be very, very far away from looking to move, but the daily news cycle and what happens every day, maybe in February, you're like, nah, there's no way. But you keep tapping in, you keep watching these kind of things, you keep seeing what is going on in America. And by the time June comes, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the end of the year with what has transpired because it's almost in a microwave these days. These things are 2 years old, but they are just as relevant as 2 years ago as they were today. Now, let's talk about some positive things. Positivities on why I was looking to leave. Well, kind of goes back to number one. If I had more money in my pocket and I wasn't spending all my money on just car and house and food and those kind of things, what would I do? Well, I would travel more, and I do. So many of you guys are in two situations. First situation, time. You ain't got the time. I take it if you go to move abroad, you're going to be in one of a couple of situations. You're going to be either one, retired. So now you got time. Two, you're going to be in a work from home or a remote environment. So you have flexibility. I say that is because when you get out abroad, you realize that never mind the cost of housing and everything else, even just travel in the United States is really expensive. Flight from Philadelphia to Miami, depends on when you get it, could be $250 to $400 round trip. Vegas, $400 to $500. Maybe you can get a good deal. I'm not saying that you can't get good deals, but I'm saying on average, these are probably about the prices to Vegas, to South Beach. What is that? Now, maybe you go and I say travel where you can and do all of that stuff, but I say when I'm here in Colombia, obviously, plenty of other Colombian cities with so many different things than just where I'm at in Medellin. There is Cartagena, Barranquilla, Cali, San Andres, Santa Marta. These can cost $20 one way, depending, less maybe. 40, 50, $50 round trip. I think San Andres may be the most expensive, and that might be like maybe like 150 round trip. Never mind in country, but going to other countries from here. Panama's right there, 150 bucks. Ecuador. What else did we have close to here? Costa Rica. Costa Rica is like 222. I always see that number when I go to look up Costa Rica. It's like 222, 228. A lot less than what it is that I was paying just to see the United States. So this was one of the biggest things for me because it was like, okay, now I'm going. What am I going to do in my life? I'm going to see more of the world. I'm going to travel and learn more different things of different cultures, learn different histories, understand more of the African diaspora. These were things that it was important to me because I said, okay, with all of this time that you'll have and this extra money, what will you do? You want to not get all the way to 65 and say, okay, I can just start seeing it today. So this was one of the biggest things for me that was like, with leaving, what do you get? Never mind what I gave up. What did I get? I got the ability to start seeing more of my life in ways where I didn't even expect it. I saw my buddy Denzel. It was that Saturday, and I said, "Bro, man, we got to go do something crazy." Like we did. It was about a year and a half ago. We went river rafting. Shout out to James. Took us river rafting. But what James didn't tell us is that it was also including caving and rivering. Rivering. You guys may not know what it is. Don't worry. I did not either. It's walking through a river for miles that is in various heights of water. As you walk through this water, you don't know where you're going because I was just sold river rafting. Then, when I got too close to the cave, I had to do a number of jungle gym like activities with no harness, no safety net, just hope and fear. Got into the cave. The cave was also various amounts of water, random dripping things. Was told not to shine the light up because the bats were up there. And we definitely knew the bats were there because the entire time they were hissing. Sound like something out of a scary movie. However, not something I would have probably signed myself all the way up for, but the moment that I got completely through unscathed, I said, this was one of the most exciting times of my life. That is not something I would have signed myself up for. I went almost blindly into it, but I knew that living this life, moving abroad, I needed to be able to make certain I was willing to test myself. Listen, I'm a person that I'd rather die living my life than live never seeing anything. That's just how so many of you guys are like that. So many of you guys are I'm scared of heights. I jump off of cliffs. I've gone skydiving at 15,000 feet. And anybody that knows me knows I immediately get like Bambi legs anytime you stand me somewhere taller than what I am. But this was an opportunity for my life to start really living. I had already lived a good life. Nothing was bad at 35. But I hadn't seen enough. I hadn't had enough outside of America to determine if America was really the place for me, or was it just somewhere that I woke up and was told, this is the best country ever. I often felt that it wasn't. I often felt that my life in the United States, I wasn't living my best life. So many guys, the song, I live in my best life. Most of that comes down to popping bottles and clubs and fancy cars and eating caviar. Those things are cool. But when you get them and you actually get them instead of striving for them for this umpteenth amount of time and you actually get them, you realize this. And what so many rich people realize is it's not worth it. And you don't even got to get rich. to understand that. When I say rich people, that because they're the people that you don't know me, but you know rich people that have a whole bunch of money that are in and out of rehab, depressed. So why do you think that when you get all of the money, that it's going to be different for you? Money is a tool. Money is a vehicle. You need to utilize it in the way that it needed to be utilized. But you need to make it easy on yourself, as easy as possible, to put yourself in a scenario where you are not working your entire life just to have it. You'll never get enough with that mentality. I was there. I now know I'm living actually my best life, doing what it is that I'm doing, having these conversations, going outside, seeing these things, traveling. And this leads us into our last thing. And honestly, these are the things that I encapsulated for you guys. But the number one biggest thing that I wanted to do when moving abroad, I wanted to travel more. But travel, the ability to travel, it is a privilege. And you need to understand with that privilege, you need to have a certain etiquette. So what I wanted to do was better immerse myself in cultures outside of the traditional things that I grew up doing. Oh, here's a all-inclusive resort. Here's some canned experience. My first experience with the people and really in another country was in Colombia, and I realized the beauty of that. So I wanted to get close to what the locals were doing. I wanted to get close to what traditions they were doing around the holidays. How did they go spend time with their friends? I found out it was even more familial oriented than I felt like when when grandma great grandma was alive and everybody used to hang out, aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody. And now it may not be like that. That's not the case down here. Most families are like fully intertwined and ingrained. It's such a beautiful thing to be a part of again. And even the expat community, there's familiarity and familiarness with the people that live down here, as many of us have similar stories, and blending those things and finding people that are local here that we have similar stories. These are the things that I said, okay, I'm going to give this up because this isn't going to be good. Not for my mental health, not for my physical health, not for my financial health. But I have such an opportunity to gain so much. Why wouldn't I take the risk? There's a bigger risk if I stay here doing the same thing for the next 30 years, expecting something different when I've seen so many times, so many generations before me, my mother, my father, my grandparents. They've not even had the ability to have some of these opportunities that I've had, the people that I've met, the rooms that I've been in, the conversations that I've had with people that actually end up meaning something. These things, these were all on the other side of me leaving America. You guys and we needed somebody. We need people that look like us telling us when we leave, it is okay. Yes, you can always go back. It's not saying, oh, because I know a lot of people are like, well, my ancestors built this place. I'm going to stay here as far as I want to. This is not telling you what to do. This is giving you insight and different perspective, because there's one thing that we can both agree on and all agree on. We can't change America based off of what is going on. There's no way that you don't get this deep down into BS and then it's going to come together in our lifetime. And what lifetime is it going to come together? I'm actually not certain, because it has been untogether for quite so many lifetimes. I am saying, let us utilize our resources. What I'm doing is trying to show you that, hey, you do not have to be caught up in only African American information. The entire African diaspora is out here for us to explore, to meet, to celebrate, to immerse ourselves in and get a better understanding of who the people were that are just like us. The only difference is they got dropped off hundreds of years before people got brought to the United States. That's it. This opportunity that we have is a crossroads. You can either stay on the path of where it is that you are in America and continue to grind, chisel, and hope that it'll all change, because it's going to need to all change. Because even if you get the money that you're looking for, it's still not going to change. You're still going to be in a scenario where your friends, your family, your loved ones aren't, they didn't, you made it, but how many of them can you get to make it also? Whereas I am seeing more communities, expat communities pop up, people that are coming here with understanding of the culture, what to do, how to build community, sharing resources, sharing things that we can build together with, whether you're an African American, an Afro, from maybe from United Kingdom, Afro Colombian, other people from the Caribbean, different places in South America, Central America. The opportunity to build abroad is here, and it's here today. Look around. Nobody is coming to save us. It's on us to save us. So this is why even these conversations are brought to light, because it is an opportunity for you to understand that, hey, I left y'all. What they told y'all was easy as, oh, America's the best country and it don't get no better than this, was a bold-faced lie. It's a bold-faced lie. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? Is America giving you a good time? You don't need the answer. It's rhetorical. You know the answer, and probably the answer is no. So we narrowed it down to 5 reasons tonight. 5 reasons why you might be moving abroad, but also it realistically was the 5 reasons I left. I hope you guys found some synergy in what it was that we discussed here. I hope you found some understanding in, hey, you may not be going at it alone. You might not be the only one going through it. So many people are in a certain scenario, but so many of you guys don't know how to take the first step. What I've done is doing my best to make it easy. I have these conversations nightly, Monday through Friday. Make sure you guys turn your notifications on, because tomorrow we talk about a very good topic, your mental health in the United States. Some of them is kind of all up wrapped up in here. How much things cost. Every time you go outside, you got to worry about having clean drawers on in case the police going to stop you. And that'd be the last time, even though you haven't done anything wrong. Maybe you just look the part. These are all things that you guys go through in the United States. So we want to make certain that, hey, don't forget, this wasn't normal. So we bring that to the light, but we also bring what happens. What is it like for your mental health when you move abroad? What do you see? You start learning that you actually have American privilege. You don't get to see any American privilege in the United States. You get to see it when you move abroad. But you need to understand that with that American privilege, you are going to not be aware of how you come off. So these conversations are designed to help prepare you, if you are actually moving abroad, to get ready. It's a beautiful journey, but somebody's got to tell you not only how to do it, why you might be looking to do it, but realistically, what you are going to go through when you try to unanchor yourself from the United States. It's a journey. And these conversations are designed to give you what my journey was, how I went through it, and what you may be experiencing once you start going through it. You guys can go to moodtravelcolombia.com. That is 2 O's in mood, 2 O's in Colombia. There, what you will see is free resources. There are free resources on visas. There are how to move to Colombia. The free guide is there. If you guys go to, I think it's the experts page, all of our experts, they're already there. Our relocation tours, we do relocation tours that are starting March 12th through the 17th here in Medellin, Colombia. We give you an understanding of how to live as a local. You want to come here, but you're not just going to come and be on vacation. You're going to come and you're going to be in a scenario where you need to know where the best restaurants are, where are the neighborhoods to live in. How do you find a place to live, and what is actually that place? Well, I go to Airbnb. Okay, but you don't know any difference of the neighborhood. You could be on a hill, on a street with nothing on it, or you could be where all the bars, restaurants, nightlife. What is it that you want to do? These relocation tours literally bring you down here to show you what life is like as a local before you go sell all your stuff because you're just fed up with America. I get it. I get it. But I need you guys to make certain that you know that we have put together a process for you. Later on in the week, we do over to the 6 steps, the 6-step process, which is Wednesday, how to move abroad. Yes, you can use this to move to Colombia, but you use this to move anywhere. I'm ready for you guys to start living your best life. So many of us have already made the journey out and have been able to see what living your best life looks like. My name is RJ. I appreciate you guys as always. I will be back on tomorrow. You guys that may be tuned in might see us. If you don't know, we are going. We're also a travel agency. I bring this up is because You, Me, and R&B. We will be bringing them the You, Me, and R&B movement April 10th to the 14th to Cartagena, Colombia. You guys go to moodtravelclub.com. Yes, we have two websites. One for Colombia specifically, keeping you guys putting y'all certainly in a way where y'all know exactly where to get the information. And the other one is Mood Travel Club. That is for all our group trips, all of our opportunities to go travel. Should you not be looking to move abroad, come out with us. Come meet us around the world. We literally take you everywhere. But I will let you go. I got some dinner plans, so I'm going to go get dressed, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. If you guys have anything, please comment. Let me know what it is that you guys may need to see, may want to see on this platform. Maybe you want to see it from a particular kind of expert on a certain topic. Let me know. I will tell you, if you guys go to YouTube, Black Expat Life in Colombia. That's two O's in Colombia. If you put in a U, you are going to be in South Carolina. Two O's in Colombia. There we have already all of our conversations recorded, all of our lives. We have multiple conversations with expats that live in Ghana, Panama, Qatar. We have healthcare experts on there. We have language experts. We have multiple short-term rental people that are here in Colombia. We also have property investment people. We have a number of people that can help you move abroad. We've already had conversations with them. Take a look. Just go ahead. YouTube, Black Expat Life in Colombia. We guys will be back tomorrow at right around that 6:30 hour. Just make sure you guys are liking, following, subscribing, commenting, sharing with people that may be looking to move abroad. It's not a lot of platforms that's taking their time out to put this together for you guys on a weekly and nightly basis. I appreciate y'all as always, and I will see you mañana. Peace.